Wow, check out this thought. This is pretty crazy. We already know that we already know that we are not, what do you call it, living a private life. Privacy is been gone for quite some time by now. We know since the smartphones have been out and vehicles have been getting more cameras in them and such and whatever. This is pretty interesting thing that kind of came to my mind. I'll show you what happened. I was at the charging station yesterday out in Walker, Michigan, and some young guy came up to me and he had just got a Tesla as well for Ubering, and he's gonna start doing that today. He said, but he like ran out of batteries. Like I was like, man, what are my worst nightmares? And he said he ran out of battery right across the parking lot. Had to get his car towed and put over to the charger. So he's been there for quite a while, evidently. But yeah, he was showing me about a bonus on the thing, which I'd never seen before. It was like he said everybody he's talked to could see it. It's a $6 extra bonus per ride. $6 extra per ride. I'm like, wow, no wonder he's so confident about that. And he has all the other same bonuses that I already see anyways. Like, that's not cool. I'm gonna have to call about that. But anyways, the thing that was so crazy, he's like saying, make sure you get a fully automated Tesla by the time it's 2024. That way you can let your car just go. You just turn your car on and let it fly, and people can just get in and go for the ride and get dropped off and get out. Simple as that. And I was like, that's crazy. I was like, can that really happen? You know? And I looked online, and already there's a thing that's called Waymo or something like that. And they have this minivan that goes around, and there's no physical driver. It's just fully autopilot. And it pulls up, and people get into the thing, and they touch the screen in the back of the seat, and it says go or whatever, and it talks to you, hi to your name, and make sure you buckle up and all that stuff. And it just starts to drive down the street, cars all around like normal. I'm like, wow. We've already heard about autopilot, but to actually watch someone in it doing it and not just hearing about it, it's pretty crazy. So anyways, it works. But the second time I found another video of another dude doing it, and it was really kind of like, this is where the little, oh crud thing came, because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And then the voice came over the intercom in the van and says, to the guy's name, make sure you put your seatbelt on. That's our standard or whatever. Oh, how'd you know I don't have my seatbelt? Because the cameras are on in here, meaning they can just see you. And that just made me realize, like, you know, when you're watching a video of people in their YouTube thing, it's like you're just watching them right there, plain as day, you know. And I remembered years ago when I was walking out of a grocery store. I used to deliver drinks to Rockstar and whatever, to grocery stores a long time ago, and I'd walk out and I saw the camera right above my head. But one time I was in the back working with the dude because we were working on some paperwork stuff, and I saw those very cameras, and people walk by those cameras, and I'm telling you, it is just, you're as plain as day. You can see you so clearly, and your face, I mean, you can see you as if you're right there. I mean, it's really, really clear, and that was over a decade ago. So I'm like, man, just to think about how many cameras there are around and how easily it is to see you doing everything that you do, everything you search for, everyone you've ever talked to, everything you've ever said to anybody, it's all somewhere, someplace. You know what I mean? I don't know if the NSA thing I've heard about is legit, like as far as after a few years that they delete all this information. Maybe they do. I don't know. But maybe they save some because some of it's more interesting or whatever. But, you know, even the Simpsons cartoon, as we know, there's a lot of things in entertainment that shows us about, you know, global reality, like worldly procedures that are actually legit happening. And we've seen this cartoon a long time ago. So, remember Simpsons movie came out, and it showed a place, it showed like the NSA room where all these people were listening into phone calls. And it was like hundreds of people on their desk listening to phone calls, listening for so-called terrorist attacks or terrorist information. Meaning all of this stuff is so automated. There's everything you do it could be being listened to just by somebody else. And it sounds so like, who cares what, they're not going to pay attention to me. I'm living a pretty boring life. But if you're not, you know, you could be a piece of a puzzle and they could be watching you. It's crazy. Knowing when you're driving a Tesla, you are being recorded all the time, inside and out of the car, whether it's parked or whatever. It's always there going. I think it is anyway. I was fiddling around with the screen on there, and there was one thing on there that I thought was quite interesting, and I thought it said like you could buy 10-minute clip of whatever you want, in case you've had like a break-in or somebody was doing something wrong in your car. You could always use it as footage of this is exactly what happened for legal purposes or what have you. And I was like, that's crazy. It just makes you realize how someone can just sit there and watch you, And so it kind of made me, it reminded me of like those videos of, and you see people trying to break in or something like that, and then they get busted, and you just watching, plain as day. You are such a horrible person. They could see you clear as day, It's like you're on someone else's property breaking in or trying to steal their packages, or you got trapped in that one place where that guy got trapped and he couldn't get through those doors, and he was trapped. The police comes, it's like, dude, people are just sitting there, just normal everyday people sitting there watching you, laughing at you, you know what I mean? And it's like, the more technologically we get, the more we have to know that there's just people sitting back there just laughing and doing their stuff, Just yesterday I went to Taco Bell in Grand Rapids, and it was one of those ones where you watch all the people acting in there. They look like they're at a party. Just they got music playing, they're all yelling back and forth, bah, 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 and it's just like they're all partying. And then they hand me my order. The drink had no flavor in it, so I drive off. I didn't realize that, and I don't want to drive back, so I'm stuck with this like big old drink with no flavor, and it's just bitter fizz or whatever. It's really not that great. And then there was onions on my burritos, so I was like, man, these people are just like, it's like, what if it's people like this that are watching you, they're just laughing at you or whatever. It's like, it's hard to explain what I mean. It's like, you can just imagine, it's just people, just everyday people. It's not like they're all so professional. Even people who act all professional, they don't act like that all the time. They're just people, people who do all these big professional jobs. Well, when they're off their big professional jobs, they're probably hanging out with their friends and family, talking about all the things that they saw on their job, So it's interesting. It's interesting. Like, privacy and everything has just gone through the roof. So, brothers and sisters, we got to be really, really wise about what we do. I know sometimes we think it doesn't matter what you do because who's going to see or who's going to know, or everybody's going to stay in their lane and all that stuff. And it's not really true. Not all really true. It's just really, really weird to think like how we have been watched constantly, like that thing from Big Brother is watching you. That's a thing written in 1930s, back when the Federal Reserve had no more money to back up they had no more gold or real finance to back up all this pieces of paper they keep pumping out. The financial system is a joke. The media system is a joke. The privacy in America is beyond a joke. And being able to trust people to not, misuse these kinds of these types of stages that they have here. These, it's pretty interesting to think about that, to say the least. If I was really, I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, what do we do about this? This is nuts. But anyways, fully automated car that can sit there and watch you as if they're watching you in the car anyway. They probably could see you much clearer not being in the car than being in the car, because there's people behind my seats. They dump stuff on the seats, or they do stuff, and it's so annoying, and I would never even know. There's stuff sitting on the floor or on the seat. I would never have seen it in my life until several rides later. I'm like, what's wrong with my seat? Oh, what's wrong on the floor? They left this flashlight, or they left their keys, or they left their debit card or driver's license or whatever, cell phones and stuff like that. You're like, oh man. So anyways, brothers and sisters, yes, Big Brother is watching for sure, and not all of them are big professional people trying to just see the terrorist things. They're looking at you. They can see you doing stuff that's silly. Like those little short videos and TikTok videos or whatever, people promote all this stuff. You can see some of them pop through. I've seen some of them. It's kind of silly stuff that people put people filming you while you're having a spaz attack in the parking lot over some whatever, or some fiasco going on in a restaurant, fiasco going on a bus, fiasco going on the street, and people are always filming and watching this stuff. Well, they got a massive audience. Who's to say there isn't people like that who got TikTok and all that that are not watching us, laughing at us too? You know what I mean? It's pretty interesting. I almost wonder if there's like hidden websites, on the dark web or whatever, that they could watch videos that, of people that don't know they're on the web. Anyways, very creepy stuff, brethren. We're not living in Kansas anymore, that is for sure. There is no place like home, but home has been gone for quite some time. Have a great day.